I want to take a little time. I know there's a lot of people that want to do their own tile work, and basically I'm going to try to take this right here and share some information that may help y'all, because I've been doing this a long time and there's a lot of things that people don't know they're getting into when they're doing their own tile. But can you come here and see this a little bit? All right, we've got a shower shelf here. Basically, the size of this tub was a foot smaller than the framing, so we had to utilize this space. Basically, everything you want to know about tile is cleanliness, precision, and finished edge. Basically, your factory edge has always got to be here. You can't be cutting tile and just putting them where you want. You always want to keep your cut edges in the wall here or hidden. But when you get into a situation like this, you got this pretty tile here, and then you got this unfinished edge, okay? So what we do in this situation, a lot of times, depending on the application, I would miter this. I would 45. If you look here, I just turned my tile saw on a 45, and then I could just return it, and it's got a nice clean edge. But being that this is in a shower, that could hurt somebody if they fall or if they're laying on it or whatnot. So here's how I work this out. Basically, we're going to take the same Schluter that we're taking upside this edge here, and instead of running it like this and having our tile dead into here, that'll catch water. The whole reason this is sloped so that the water will run down. You want it to run off, so you don't want to turn it like that. So what I decided to do is turn it backwards. We're going to cap this off here, okay? And I'm going to kind of kick it, put it on a little kick with my mortar, and then I'm going to return it back to this wall with a miter. And we'll bevel this miter right here so that nobody can get hurt on there. Now what we do here is the same thing, but if you look down here at the tub, you got to protect your stuff from water. That's why this is bulked out so far, because if we just stopped our tile here, then it would get the drywall wet. This gives you more room for a shower curtain, and it's going to hit any water that's wanting to come out of that tub when somebody's taking a shower. So what I did here, or what I'm going to do here, is we're going to cover the finished edge here the same way. All right, and it's going to be nice and pretty and clean, and then we'll have one of these going up the side here, wrapping the whole thing so it all match. But down here, if you look, if I were to just do a regular tile without this miter, then you would see that finished edge here, which I don't care if I'm in Prospect or Portland, which I'm in Portland right now. I'm going to do the same work. My stuff's going to be impeccable as I can get it. Now, what I learned on this one is, when you're in a building like this, where none of the walls are straight, nothing's level, nothing's square, you've got to start from your corner, okay? You've got to check. Well, it took me probably 5 or 6 hours to get this laid and this first row lined out, laid out to where everything was perfectly square and level. So these are your two best friends, right? All right, you got to plumb it all the way up. This wall was built like this, but my tile's got to be right. So when my Schluter pops in here, I can caulk that line and hide it the best I can, because you can't rebuild every house you get into. You just got to make sure your work's right and tight. So we're dead nuts here. We're dead nuts there. And I check it every row just to keep it and make sure it's right. We're true here. We're true here, all the way up. So once I have my corner right, I can build off of that. And then get over here, same thing. Actually, believe it or not, I had to pull this off, because we didn't actually do this part. This was in. I had to pull it off, further this wall out, bring this corner in so that I can meet up with this drywall that's lopsided. I had a lot of challenges on this one, but this one's turning out really nice. But you got to take the time to lay your stuff out. You never just go in there and start putting mortar on the wall and tiling. And my advice to anybody that's trying to do this for the first time or second time, buy this stuff. This is about $60, $65 a bucket, but where your bags of mortar are closer to $20, $24 a bag, and you actually get more out of the bag than you do this bucket, but this is worth every penny. And I'll tell you why. It's pre-mixed, okay? You can use a little bit of it, put the lid back on, and tomorrow it's still going to be good. When you get mixed into that mortar and buckets, it's going to dry up on you. You got to clean out buckets. You got to mix it. You're saving hours of labor spending the extra money. So definitely buy the pre-mix. But you got, anytime you're in a shower, you got to make sure it's for what locations. It's a little more expensive, but you got to do it according to manufacturer specification. So long story short, once you get your stuff squared out, cleanliness is everything. If you look at my grout lines all the way around here, there's no mortar in any of them. I take the time to clean them all out because when I'm done, I want to pull my spacers and grout and be done. 15 years ago when I started, didn't know these little tricks, and it took longer to clean the grout lines and get them prepared for grout than it did to tile the whole bathroom. So you learn from your mistakes, obviously. But I'm trying to share this with anybody that may want to do their own tile, and I can save them some time. One last thing is always dry fit. Okay, don't go putting mortar on the wall and thinking your tile is going to be right, because when you get in an outer square or a situation where you've got to use these shims to tweak it a little bit, because everything's not going to work out perfectly right unless everything is perfectly square before you go in. And 9 times out of 10, when you're coming in on a build, whether it's a new house or not, the frame is not square. It's 16 off here, 1/8 off here, but your tile's a 1/16 of an inch matters. So always dry fit. Cut your stuff, set it in there, make your marks. Then once you got a couple rows ready and you know it's going to lay out right, then you start mortaring and sticking it on the wall. It'll save you so much time. So back to this real quick, and then you and I can get to work. Whenever you're coming into a spot where you're going to have a dead end tile, and you don't want, if you look at the tile, that's pretty, that's ugly. I took my 45, even though I'm going to return my corner here, and that's going to be a nice, pretty finished edge from the tub. Once I, obviously set it where I need to set it, it's going to be a nice, pretty corner here. Here, I didn't stop it here. I kept the 45 all the way down. What I'll do with that is I'll get some grout caulk that's the same color of the grout. Biscuit's actually the name of it. And then I will seal that to where it looks like a grout line is going all the way down. That's going to give you a nice, clean, finished edge. It's going to carry all the way down. It's going to give you a water seal, and everything's going to be protected. So basically, this is really going to look sharp once we boom. I got to cut that 45, but miter that out, and then have it match in there. We got the extension so that she got splash effect. We're good there. And as soon as we get this last few tile up, we'll be ready to grout because there's no cleanup. So anyway, I'm about to get on the move. I hope it helps somebody.